Hey, Louie, this is Purge, and I'm bringing you guys a pro gameplay commentary, or a pro game, I guess. I always mess that up, I'm sorry. My name's Purge, I'm here with GoDz. How you doing, GoDz?
I'm doing fantastic, how are you?
I'm excellent. A little tired. I woke up about 40 minutes ago now, but slept quite late today. But it feels good, so I'm happy. We're going to be watching Virtus.Pro versus DTS. This is in the Dreamhack qualifier, and it should be an awesome game. Virtus.Pro is a brand new team. As you guys can see, they have Kuroky to their roster, as well as NS. So NS was previously on Dare. He left Dare and now has joined Virtus.Pro. We don't know who the other three are, I believe. Is that correct? Do you know anything more about this than I do?
That's correct. There's rumors all over the place, but Virtus.Pros are not revealing their roster. They're revealing one player every 2 days, so it's a bit of a mystery.
Huh. Interesting way to build hype. Kind of like that.
Yeah.
Interesting. Cool. And DTS, you guys have probably watched a bunch of DTS games before from Star Ladder and stuff like that. They're a very talented Ukrainian team who've been performing pretty well recently. I think they're definitely a pretty cool team. They're the weird team that likes picking Shadow Demon, Kunkka, Clinks, and who else am I missing? I know they have another here.
The Bane
Elemental.
banned right here already, so Virtus.Pros have done some of their homework.
Yeah, I wonder. I guess we'll never know who they are until we wait a couple days. So if you guys want to know that information in a few days, probably just keep an eye on ghostgamers.net for that info, because I'm sure there'll be news posted every single time they announce a new roster player. Especially because they already have Kuroky and NS. We've been waiting for Kuroky to join a pro team since the International, basically. And he hasn't picked one up yet. If you guys don't know who he is, he's one of the best German players at the moment. He's been very, very long standing in the Dota scene, Dota 1 especially. So it's interesting to see how he turns out. And we're going to see a Broodmother first pick.
Yeah, Virtus.Pros, it's a nice side lane solo hero, but something which did fall out of favor a bit. I think Na'Vi in the Starlight final started picking up Broodmother a bit again. I saw some of the drafts out. You'd probably know a bit more about that than me. It can be countered by heroes like Sand King, but in general, it is just a solid all-around hero that, I mean, you can fit into most lineups because it is great at putting on pressure in any lane wherever he goes.
Yeah, he's really good for that solo lane. Don't really know who's going to play it. I don't know what the roles are yet for this team, but we'll find that out shortly. We also saw a Lycan ban, Darkseer Chen, Nature's Prophet Bane. So I'm assuming might see a Lone Druid draft. Invoker is actually still in the pool, which is pretty surprising that they picked Brood up before Invoker. And we have Enchant, we have Anti-Mage, we have Night Stalker, we have Panda. I don't know if Panda's in here or not. I don't know if they're in there for the Dreamhack qualifiers. I've seen quite a few tournaments just say no Panda so far.
Wow. Okay, that's interesting. As far, I mean, it's in the pool at the moment. It is one of those definitely top pick heroes. Especially in I've seen quite a lot of Panda in some of the Asian scene at the moment. It's been banned almost first picked every game. And it seems to be doing fairly well. Just such an annoying mid-game hero with that ultimate. And now DTS, they don't seem that keen on the Invoker. They are thinking about this, but I think Invoker has fallen a bit out of favor as of late. And they may just go for sort of a more sort of versatile lineup with a Windrunner and some other hero at the moment here.
Yeah, Tidehunter is also in the pool, so I mean, there's a ton of possibilities. A lot of Europeans actually really favoring Enigma as well first round, especially Moscow 5, but I guess it kind of depends on the team. But they're taking a long time here for their second round, and even Virtus.Pro took a long time to pick up their first hero, down to 52 bonus time, burning about 38. And Leshrac, another good example of a hero that's still in the pool, someone who's been really popular lately.
Yeah, Leshrac with the pushing power. And Sand King as well. I like the Sand King pick. I think it's one of those heroes that has fallen a bit out of favor, but it's still very, very strong. And in my eyes, it's better than picking up the Tidehunter. I think it's a lot more versatile if you can get out that Blink Dagger at the start. And it's not quite the big kind of combo with the Ravage, but it does offer a lot more than a Tidehunter does in the laning, ganking stage. And there's the Enigma you're talking about. That's going to give them a solid laning as well as all-around pushing lineup. And it's a hero that, I mean, it can even go solo that mid lane if they want to have that Brood solo the side lane, or it can go into that jungle.
Yeah, I actually really like Sand King pickups recently. I've seen a lot of really... I mean, the thing that I appreciate the most about Sand King after watching pros play him more often is just stunning multiple people multiple times in a team fight. That's so valuable when you consider it. I mean, everybody else has like single target stun, and if you can stun 2 or 3 in a team fight, wait 11 seconds and do that again, it's just obscenely strong.
Yeah, and then even with that Sandstorm, you sort of can just weave in and out a bit. And Brewmaster is the pickup for Virtus.Pros. I don't know. Have you seen much of the Brewmaster in the hands of these European teams? What do we need to expect from that?
A couple times. I think I've watched maybe 3 games or so. I remember watching CLG, I believe, played Brewmaster. I think, did they play Brewmaster in the finals? I remember I saw Misery play him mid, so I think that was Star Ladder tournament. But I think for I don't know. I can't remember where they're banned, but obviously not here. But I seem to remember I've seen 2 or 3 teams play Brewmaster, and it was pretty effective. I think I saw 1 win and 1 loss, though, so it wasn't super one-sided either way.
Yeah. And, I mean, at the moment, Virtus.Pro don't really have any of their support heroes. They may run the Enigma in the jungle as their secondary support hero, but we'll probably see some of those common supports being banned here, such as the Crystal Maiden, maybe a Vengeful Spirit or a Witch Doctor. Clinks is the ban from Virtus.Pro, is another sort of trademark DTS hero. As, DTS, they've got the Windrunner, which could be their side lane solo. They haven't really picked up too many of their sort of key farmers or semi-carries here, although I think we'll be seeing Leshrac maybe in one of the farming roles as one of their key mid-game heroes.
Yeah, I'm expecting a dual lane. The SK Lesh dual lane has been really, really popular lately with pro teams. I've been seeing it with multiple different players, just because it is such a strong duel. And when you have something that strong, it really screws over your solo lane. It puts you into a point where even as like a Windrunner or a really safe lane solo like a Priest of the Moon, you have to be so careful not to die to it, just because of the double stuns and the follow-ups. And even good players get caught off guard by it because it's one of the best dual lanes in the game.
Yeah, it's totally true. And I mean, even that's something that could even go up against that Broodmother. I mean, even if Leshrac's being played as a support, the Sand King's a nice hero to deal with those Spiderlings. I think either Sandstorm or Caustic Finale, both are great for dealing with them. And that's a dual lane that could put a lot of pressure on that Broodmother. And maybe even go with something like an Enchantress in the jungle here. That's still not banned out if they want to run a very aggressive pushing strategy with that Leshrac and get some early towers. As we are seeing a Tidehunter ban coming out from DDS. Nothing too out of the ordinary, but definitely the Radiant team with some very interesting picks, whereas the Dire team I'd say a bit more common.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Their disables at the moment are a little lacking. Brewmaster is obviously great in team fights, Enigma doing the same kind of stuff, and Broodmother will just be able to solo and push for quite a long time. But I feel like they need some consistent disables, maybe like Crystal Maiden or something like that, which would help them out a little bit, especially against Windrunner. Crystal Maiden probably one of the best supports to cover somebody while laning against a solo Windrunner, because you can use Frostbite after she uses Windrunner that prevents her from using that movement speed bonus during that period of time. So I think that would be a smart pickup. But we do see a Night Stalker ban out of Virtus.Pro for their last one.
Yeah, I guess one of those heroes that can sort of annoy the Brewmaster with that silence in the mid game here. And definitely, I'd say that both teams have. I mean, it's going to come down to how they lane this, as to whoever gets sort of the early game laning advantage will be able to use their team to push down towers, because both teams have heroes capable of taking out towers quickly. The Enigma Eidolons, the Brood, and the Dire team have the Leshrac as well as the creep clearing capabilities of the Windrunner. So whoever gets sort of that early game edge will be looking to just sort of have that snowball effect where they take tower after tower if the game does start going their way.
Mm-hmm. And surprisingly, you get to see a Lone Druid at the end. Well, I guess that's not too weird. Either team could play this hero. Lots of pushing potential. And as a carry, if he does get that Radiance up, it's such a nasty force to fight against. So I've seen a couple teams play the Lone Druid. Have they been played that much in the Southeast Asian scene?
It hasn't. Surprisingly little. I mean, it was something I expected to be picked up quite a lot, but a lot of the teams have just been favouring specifically the Anti-Mage pick over it. Seen quite a lot of Anti-Mage, quite a bit of Morphling as well, but Lone Druid yet to be picked up. I think some of the Chinese teams will definitely look to use it, as he was very popular there, but at the moment have not seen him used at all.
Interesting. And I do call the Crystal Maiden pick feel awesome, so we'll put the disables together a little bit. All of her abilities are actually going to be very useful against DTS currently, so I think that's going to be looking pretty good for them. But what do you think? Do you think they're still going to pick up a hard carry there, or just maybe commit with a 5th pusher or something?
I think I don't think they're going to pick up a hard carry here. If they want to run the Enigma solo mid, then definitely their lanes are already sort of set up with the CM Panda at bottom, the Brood at top, the Enigma at mid. I imagine Enigma will be in jungle, and they're just going to pick up some form of solo mid hero here that can help deal with this DTS lineup. They need some hero maybe to get up some of those core items like Mech and Pipe. We could see, even something like a Pugna could fit in here, could be a nice mid-game pushing hero, as I think the Brood and the Panda alone offer enough mid to late game potential. And there's the Enchantress. So DTS definitely want to be aggressive, definitely want to take down some early towers with the Leshrac and the Enchantress both in their draft.
Yeah, I think that's going to be very effective. That combo is always excellent. As long as you have something to tank the tower, Leshrac can always do the damage with the Edict, so definitely one of his best abilities by far. Definitely the main reason why he is drafted right now. And then he kind of really does demonstrate a strong mid-game with all that AoE damage, so So we have one pick left over. Radiant team is possibly, they might solo Panda mid, maybe do like a Crystal Maiden Panda lane. That would be very effective in the mid lane. Could throw Enigma into the jungle, Broodmother top. So I guess they technically need a solo bottom or a solo mid. Either one of those. And they're going to take a Mirana, which means they might do you think they're going to do Mirana mid and then put Panda CM bot, or the opposite way?
I mean, they could do that dual lane mid with the CM Panda and then have the Mirana in the silent, because Mirana mid normally doesn't do that well. It's not the best hero for last thing with it mid, depending on what you're up against. But yeah, definitely either Mirana mid or the CM Panda lane, or even we could see Panda solo mid and have the CM Mirana at bottom. I mean, Panda is a hero. I mean, I've seen probably about half and half when Panda's been picked up. He has been run as a solo mid. You just get the bottle up nice and quick, and you can sort of hold your own in mid lane, even against ranged harassers, as DTS will be picking up their last hero, which I think will be their solo mid hero. They've got the SK Leshrac lane you mentioned, which is just so powerful. The Windrunner can be a great side lane solo, and then they just need something to do with the mid lane, depending on what they expect to be there. And it's going to... the Invoker still in the pool, and that's, I think, a really great pickup. A last pick. That one. Yeah, I'm about to say, how often does Invoker get last pick?
That's definitely very very uncommon for sure. Either team could have grabbed that, really. I guess the Radiant team wouldn't have had enough carry potential if they did end up doing that, but interesting. Okay, alright, let's reduce all my scroll speed to make this smooth and beautiful. And we can go over the players quick. They did actually all draft. I'll cover Virtus.Pro quick. So the players we do know of, yes, Kuroky is going to be playing Brewmaster, and we have NS playing the Crystal Maiden, and the three mystery players who are currently Probaki, Lucifer, and Whisker Tons playing Brood, Enigma, as well as the Mirana.
Yep, and the Dire team, DTS, the team who aren't playing under Secret Alias, we've got Funnick playing the Sand King, M playing the Invoker, 333 playing the Enchantress, Jackal playing the Windrunner, and Lollipop on that Leshrac.
And I have watched Kuroky play Panda before. I think this was in Dota 1 a long time ago, probably in the first GoDz League, somewhere in that was like I think August or September or something like that. But he plays a very, very good Brewmaster, super high aggression, but doesn't overcommit, uses his ulti only when he needs to get kills. I expect him maybe to go to a bottle and maybe some face boots. That seems to be a pretty common Brewmaster build.
Yeah, bottle into phase boots, often go for the mid game. Like a Drum of Endurance is really nice in as well to sort of boost up your mana pool, as well as give you those much needed stats. And then after you've got the Drum, you can transition into the Blink Dagger, the Aghanim Scepter, sort of give you the initiation you need. And he's heading towards the mid lane. I believe he's going to be laning with the Crystal Maiden because he has gone for the 2 gauntlets. So it's not really... If you're going to solo mid as Brewmaster, you likely want to rush the bottle, so you sort of go into lane with just a couple branches and maybe some tangos. But as it looks like it's going to be CM and Brewmaster at mid, as Mirana will be soloing that bottom lane, and the Broodmother, somewhat expectedly, at the top lane. And that's going to be up against that SK Leshrac lane. And Enchantress, if Enchantress comes out with some early pushes, I mean, they could easily take down at least 1, maybe 2 towers sort of in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, I wonder if we are going to see Leshrac shift. Yeah, he's probably going to be in the lane. I mean, it's actually Broodmother, or Broodmother is probably one of the best heroes that you could lane against this dual lane, though, I think. They don't have sentry wards yet, unless... Yeah, they absolutely don't have any sentry wards, so he's going to have super high mobility speed, which means he has a less chance of getting spotted or stunned by those 2 heroes. So I think this is actually arguably the best solo hero you could put against them. I think that's going to be looking really good for Virtus.Pro.
Yeah, Brood shouldn't be in much danger of dying, but the problem is Brood is not a great hero to stop the push coming out from SK Leshrac and the Enchantress. Enchantress just has to pick up a couple creeps, and Brood can't do anything to really stop that push. Even, I mean, at level 2, 3, 4, he's just got nothing really to throw at a push, and a great way to beat a Brood's push is just to push against him with more heroes. So I think if that's how they want to play this, they could get an early advantage in that top lane. Mid lane, yeah, Invoker will be shut down a bit, but he should be able to get some farm and levels that he needs, as it looks like DTS are going to keep Leshrac mid, do dual lane versus dual lane.
Huh, interesting. Especially with a Leshrac on top of that. That's very interesting. It's going to be hard to land the stun, which is going to be the main issue. But if Brewmaster or Crystal Maiden ever go offensive, at least M is going to be a lot more safe. And Invoker is definitely semi-easy to kill in the first couple levels before he really gets up his stat points and his abilities.
Yeah, and bottom lane, Mirana versus Windrunner. It's probably a slight advantage to the Windrunner there. It does have slightly better last hitting. And even top lane with the Brood versus SK, it's another lane where SK should do fairly well. He's going for the Caustic finale. That's going to mean Broodmother cannot use those Spiderlings as much to farm. And I think overall, the DTS, the way they've laned this, they should be winning most of these lanes. Of course, the Enigma is in the jungle, farming away, getting some levels and early items. So they're going to have to also worry about when he's going to come out to push and game.
And Kuroky's going for the dive, going under a Lollipop. We're going to see Clap doing a little bit of damage to Stun Strike as well. It's going to land on Kuroky, and it might be close. The Lollipop does get picked off. Kuroky a little bit too tanky here on the Brewmaster, up to 700 HP. Takes one more hit, and he is going to pop a self, so he ends up surviving. Great little initiation by Virtus.Pro.
Yeah, I think they thought that Sunstrike would do a bit more damage, but Kuroky with the 2 gauntlets managed to tank all that up, and early first blood for them, that's going to help them out a lot in this mid lane. Kuroky can get up that fast earn or even the bottle, that, depending on what he wants to go for.
The Sunstrike only did 100 damage. It's 1 level of Exhort. If he would have just had been level 3 in that little engagement there, get an extra 60 pure damage out of that, and that would have been a dead Beastmaster, or dead Brewmaster, sorry. So nice aggressiveness there. Really cool dual lane though, Crystal Main and Brewmaster, good stuff.
Yeah, they've got a lot of killing power. Even against 2 ranged heroes, they should be able to do all right. Their CM, of course, has 2 nukes, which not many support heroes can do, and that's really going to help set up some kills there. And now with CM level 3, same goes for the Brewmaster. They have a lot of damage potential, and yeah, Leshrac is going to go towards top lane. This mid lane, the dual lane, is not really working, so Leshrac saying, okay, let's maybe look to push this top lane or help out the Sand King.
Yeah, especially when you feed a kill like that, not necessarily feed, but when they take a kill from you like that, it puts you behind a little bit and means that your dual lane is probably just going to get worse with time if they do make more plays. So, and I expect them to do that. They're obviously very good players. So, in the meantime, Broodmother is on the top lane. He's doing a little bit of scouting in the jungle with the Spiderlings. This is pretty important. He wants to make sure that he can keep an eye if Enchantress is ganking, but in the meantime, she's literally just been jungling. I don't think she's ganked yet at all, and that's basically because Broodmother is going to be tough to gank, and even coming mid to try to pull off a gank is going to be tough. Look at the ward vision, especially by the Radiant team, just really covering all vision from the top unless they use smokes. That's the only way they're going to be able to get a gank off mid.
Yeah, it's not easy at all, and I think they're just going to sort of let the Brewmaster get that early farm up. He's not really a hard carry you have to worry about, but if he can get up, he's got the earn, which is something not often seen on a Brewmaster, but it means, as you said, Kuroky likes to be aggressive, and maybe going to try and get those charges up early and look to get some more kills going their way, as there we go, Enchantress Smoke, is she going to go for the mid? Could look for a kill in the CM.
I think this is where they're going for. They do have an Ursa Warrior up. It has a little bit of time left, maybe I don't know, 15 seconds or so. Boots up on Enchant, and she's going to run right into the Crystal Main. Crystal Main runs out. There's the Enchant. Nice Frostbite on the Ursa, but the clap comes through, and Kuroky's going to clap on, and the Sunstrike comes through, and yep, that's going to be the kill on the Crystal Main going down. In the meantime, Kuroky might end up chasing this now. He's got 7 seconds left on the clap. He's going to give up on that one. Might try to kill the Ursa Warrior. It's going to be a lot of gold if he can pick this up. I don't know if he's going to clap or not, and it does get denied by Invoker. Nice play.
Yeah, nice play, and only just getting that clap off. CM almost got the Frostbite in time. But they did get that kill, and Sand King at top lane farming very well, up to 22 CS already. Brood only on 13. He has gone for level 2 Caustic Finale. And Brood, I mean, at this point, Brood, you can't really use those Spiderlings. All you can maybe do is spam the Soul Ring nuke on the actual Sand King. But Sand King, with a Ring of Health, has a lot of survivability in this lane. And we're going to see Leshrac joining in at top lane, looking to maybe push, as he does have the level 1 Diabolic Edict.
I actually really like that fast Ring of Health pickup as a Sand King. Usually there's in a dynamic role like that between Broodmother and Sand King, usually the point where Broodmother gets some advantage back is when he grabs the Soul Ring, because then he can harass the Sand King out. And we see Sand Kings usually go for fast Arcane Boots so they can cast a lot. But instead of buying the Arcane, he buys the Ring of Health, which basically means that any small amounts of harass are just not going to be a problem against him.
Yeah, it's smart. And Enigma has actually picked up an Invis Rune and made his way into the Dire jungle. Going to get caught up by the Enchantress here. This could be bad, as the Ursa Clap is going to come in. Leshrac is there. I don't know what this Enigma's thinking, going into the Dire jungle, and Enchantress, taking a lot of Eidolon damage.
He gets it.
Only the level 1 healer by the looks of it. Yeah, level 2 heal, but still went down. Oh, man.
And level 3 Eidolons, so he was level 5 there, maxing out the Eidolons first, definitely paid off there. Gets the kill on the Enchantress. That does happen early games sometimes. You just overestimate how much damage those Eidolons are pumping out, but when there's 6 of them, they hit really, really hard, so you gotta be careful.
Yeah, and a hero like Enchantress has very low base armor. So, yeah, Virtus.Pro, I mean, Enigma kind of in a weird location there, but did manage to get the kill there, and the problem, I think, is going to be this Sand King, who is farming very well. I'm wondering if he's going to finish off his Vanguard or just go straight for the Arcane Boots now that he does have the Ring of Health. It doesn't look like he needs the Vanguard yet. I think he should just go for the Arcane Boots and then get the Vanguard a bit later if he wants to.
And there's Phase Boots up on Brewmaster. They're coming in for the disable. They're going to jump on Invoker. Clap comes. Frostbite as well. Follow up. Stunned by Leshrac, but the Frostbite gets the kill. A Cold Snap goes on Kuroky, but he's only going to take 1 extra bonus damage there. And they're going to continue pushing up the mid lane. And the most important thing is now they have 2 earn charges. That's an extra 150 damage that they can use offensively whenever they try to kill somebody.
Yeah, and with that kill, they're going to look to try and do some damage to this. Oh, Kuroky running in, narrowly misses the Leshrac, and here comes Enchantress with a Centaur, and Leshrac is there looking for a stun. Going to land on the CM, but CM is fairly tanky, and Enchantress taking a lot of damage. CM will go down. Enchantress, though, is there going to be return gank? And looks like Enchantress should barely live.
I don't know. He's going to use Phase Boots again, getting that. Well, gets a crit in. Very, very lucky. Only one level of crit, actually. So 10% chance of that. Enigma's in a lot of trouble, though. He's going to look for the black hole. Catches two heroes. Kuroky back in the mix. Still needs 2 mana before he claps. There's the clap. Going to pick off the Leshrac, going after M next. And Lucifer still trying to gank, or juke at least, but he's going to take another tower hit. Kuroky does still have 2 more earn charges, so he's going to be able to go aggressive. There's the Forge Spirits and a smart escape here coming out of Kuroky. He's going to run away.
Virtus.Pro is playing very aggressive, and I mean, they're backing it up. They're backing each other up well, and that black hole was very nice, although Enigma did end up going down, and neither team really coming out on top there, but just the aggression from Virtus.Pro, I think it's definitely good to shut down heroes like this Invoker and Enchantress as much as possible, because an underleveled Enchantress can become very squishy and useless in the late game, as Sanking has finished off with a Vanguard and has some boots now. He is level 7, doing ridiculously well against this Brood. Brood, who looks to be building a Silent Stick.
It's very amazing to see that fast Vanguard. I've never seen somebody do that before. It's seriously always the Arcane, so I think it's a very smart choice, though. Very little chance of him dying in ganks as well. The early Vanguards help so much on a melee hero, because you have such a huge percentage chance of damage blocking. And it becomes, when everybody is only doing like 50 damage anyways, if you have a 70% chance to block like 90% of the damage they do with a hit, it makes you so tanky and hard to kill.
Yeah, it's a nice pickup. The downside of it is that you do end up spending more time farming, because you still need to get up the Arcane Boots as well as the Blink Dagger later on. So you do spend a bit more time farming before you can help out your team, but his job is just to stop this Brood from pushing, so he's not going to be leaving this top lane for a while, I imagine.
Oh, Crystal Maiden does get caught. No chance of her fighting this one. Kuroky actually wants to fight it. There's going to be the clap. I think he's going to spin here. Does pick off the Leshrac first. It hasn't even split yet. He's waiting until the absolute last moment. Here comes the Disables. Looking for a stun. Nothing yet there. Does go on Enchantress and going to put Invoker up in the air, trying to pick off the Ursa. Ursa is killed, and he's going to run away with the Storm Panda, so I guess, or the Earth Panda, sorry. Because he's not too concerned with engaging this. Going to do a little bit of damage to M. Put him in the air in the meantime. And goes back to his lane, so uses the Urn to heal back up, and he's going to continue laning here.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Virtus.Pro looks like they want to put some pressure on this bottom lane. Mirana up to 37 CS, Windrunner 36, so those two heroes are pretty much, this bottom lane has been nullified for them more or less, but Virtus.Pro will pick up the tower, as Enigma is doing a great job at getting involved, getting some kills, getting some pushes and towers going into the Radiant's favor.
And Priest of Moon forcing back Windrunner just a little bit here. Kuroky's still back in the mid lane, level 8. Doesn't actually has the magic wand, that's a little new, but that's about it. Going to see a little bit of pause coming out of this, so let's once again check CS. Like you said, Windrunner was at 38 and 10 compared to Priest of Moon's 37 and 10. That's dead even here. Neither one got a kill either, and in terms of tower damage, Tier 1 tower for the Radiant team is looking fine, but they did kill the Tier 2, so that puts Virtus.Pro a little bit farther in the advantage. I think they're doing better in laning, but picking up that tower there is a nice little boost to their gold as well.
Yeah, the Dire team yet to push down any towers. Enchantress has been focusing more on actually ganking and not pushing down towers. I think if Enchantress wanted, they could have taken that top tier 1 tower a lot earlier, but I think they're just saying, okay, SK is doing fine against Brood, and if they push that tower, they're just giving Brood some more room to farm, as it will be closer to his base. So Brood, I mean, not having the best time against Sanking, but still managing to pick up a lot of farm. So right now, both teams with heroes, I mean, all farming very well. So going into the mid game, both teams are going to be pretty stacked with items, and it's going to come down to how they combo their spells.
And we're going to have the resume come in a second here. Broodmother's still level 8 here, doesn't have treads quite yet, 250 gold, but plenty of mana regen for sure. And he's trying to jungle with the spiders, but Sanking is totally denying this. He's got 3 levels of Caustic Finale, so every spider that he kills is 170 damage here. Allows him to push as well, so Broodmother's constantly has to worry about his tower getting picked off, just because of the amazing pushing power that Sanking possesses.
Yeah, it's impossible to push against that Sanking, and now Sanking with either Leshrac, or he's going to go in with an ulti. Sunstrike is there. Leshrac, Brood is going to go down to this epicenter. Really nice gank there, and the Leshrac stun as well as the Sunstrike. DTS have some great teamwork. Yeah,
that was excellent. If it wasn't for the 3 heroes combining all of their spells, it would have been a lot harder to get the kill. Most importantly was that second stun to keep him next to the epicenter as that finished off. So great coordination as well, getting Invoker ready to sunstrike that. But in the meantime, Virtus.Pro taking their second tower. The Dire team at the very least took their top tower, forcing Broodmother into a bad spot since he did get killed, but trying to take the mid tower. They go, wow, the damage coming out of their illusions is ridiculous. Both of the centers get picked off. The Sunstrike comes down on Lucifer, and the power shot gets the kill, and a stun through by the Sand King as well. Chase after Kuroky. He's got 60-second cooldown on his ulti, so he can't quite have that survivability, but Mirana might get caught. Lollipop trying to get a stun off. Just going to do a little bit of harass here, and it looks like NS is going to try to sacrifice to Roshan, but it's not going to happen. That's actually 2 deaths there for Virtus.Pro. Great defense by DTS.
Yeah, but Virtus.Pro did manage to pick up another tower, but that combo on the Enigma, oh, that Shackle, followed up by the Sunstrike and Power Shot. You can just see the DTS, the power in their draft. If they hit a Shackle shot, they can pick off a hero before the fight even begins, and with the Panda ultimate on cooldown as well, it was very hard for Virtus.Pro to fight there. So they just backed off. Point booster up on the Panda. He may finish the Ag Scepter, or I think more likely he's just going to pick up the Blink Dagger before finishing off the full Aghanim Scepter.
You think he's going to go point booster to blink? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I'd say so. I think it's quite common because without the point booster, you don't have really the mana pool for the Blink Dagger. But as soon as you get that point booster, it becomes a lot easier to use that Blink Dagger.
Yeah, it really does, and he does need a little bit of a mana pool, especially because you're probably going to want to clat multiple times in team fight and still have mana left for his primal split. So definitely is very important. He's going to get salved up by NS as well. NS with boots, got some sentry wards as well, doing a little bit of counter warding. But look at the great observer ward placement by the Dire team in kind of weird spots, both of them. And he did put down the sentry ward, expecting either this spot or up here on the high ground, but neither of them were there, so the sentry a little bit wasted there due to the really nice observer ward placement of the Dire team.
Yeah, absolutely. And Brood's still struggling a bit this top lane. Sankey's getting closer and closer to that Blink Dagger. He's already up to 1k gold. And I think he is going to be the key hero for DTS in these mid-game fights because it looks like Virtus.Pro, they want to push, they want to get those towers, but Sand once he gets that Blink Dagger, will just completely stop them in their tracks. Not to mention he's about to reach that level 2 ulti and just a couple of creep kills.
And the Aqua is up on Mirana. We do see an observer ward place. The sentry ward just spotting that one out there. We'll see if NS goes back. I think he's a little bit more worried about the gank bottom possibly, but 3 levels of Crystal Nova, 1 Frostbite, 1 Aura. I like this skill build. I think it's probably one of the better ones. Oh, we're going to see a Broodmother almost get killed top, but the stun is going to get dodged there. Unfortunately, Leshrac was a little bit too far, and even the Epicenter getting used, so missed gank.
Yeah, that'll slow them down a bit. They were hoping to get another kill on the Brood, and with that kill, they would have been in a very good position, but even missing it, the momentum is still in DTS's favor, I feel, at the moment. And Leshrac is actually... Oh, no, that's Sand King with the Arcane Boots. Leshrac playing this support role, which I think for Leshrac, it's kind of counterintuitive with that Edict, as you have to run in. You do need to get some farm and some tankiness up.
And they do kill Windrunner on the bot lane. In the meantime, Kuroky picks up an Ogre Club, so it looks like he's going straight Aghanim, so he's not even going to delay this. So, and he's only level 9. He might even, I dare say, get an Aghanim Scepter before he hits level 11. That would be ridiculous. It basically shifts your ulti up by 1 level, so it would make a level 1 ulti equivalent to a level 11, 11 to 16, and 16 to something greater than that. So, they're going to try to take the tower, though, and give them a little bit more gold advantage, but Enchant is coming through, Leshrac as well. This is going to be 3 of the Dire team heroes. They might actually want to fight this. I think they have slightly more heroes, but well, 1 impetus can do a bunch of damage to Kuroky, and they're going to back off.
Yeah, they also need to be worried that the Sand King can... Well, no, Sand King no TP at the moment, so he's not going to be looking to go in. They just want to have a bit of a 4v4 clash at bottom as Enchantress picking up the urn, so going to give her a bit of HP, some tankiness, but Invoker now has the double Forge Spirit as he has both level 4 Exort and Qualis. That'll help out a lot in these team fights, as he's also picked up a 4-staff.
Interesting, yeah. 4-staff fast on Exhort, Quas, Invoker is generally the go-to. A lot of players do this, including Dendi. They just skip the boots, they get maybe a 1 tops, and they grab that 4-staff as fast as possible because they have such reduced movement speed from not having any Wex levels. As you can see, Invoker has very, very low movement speed on base, so if you do skip the Wex, you generally want to have at least some mobility. And being able to just 4-staff in, drop the Forge Spirits, do the Quas, or even an Ice Wall is really, really valuable.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I'm maybe going to go for the Drum of Endurance next to try also help with his movement speed issues. Ooh, Enigma almost gets a stun. The 4-staff there helping him out. As look at the CM taking so much damage from those Forged Spirits.
Oh, wow. She almost died.
CM, she's trying to dodge the Sunstrike. She's going to TP home because she's scared of the Sunstrike.
That's a good play. And Enigma's going to deny the bot tower, so another tower goes down, but they do get a slight advantage. Sand King actually going to trade a little bit with the Broodmother once again. He's starting to get the spawn spiderling harass in enough where he can force Sand King's HP down, but it's going to be a while, and I don't think he's going to be able to get the kill, but at the very least, he would be able to force Sand King out of the lane, so he'll probably continue doing that.
Yeah, but Sand King getting very close to that Blink Dagger now. 1900 gold. But he's going to have to look somewhere else to farm because Brood is just, being a bit of a best at this top lane. Brood is, getting close to that Silent Stick, has one Oblivion Staff up, but still has a bit of a way to go. And that tier 2 tower at bottom that Kuroky picks up now is going to help out a lot. As Kuroky, with that tower, as you said, maybe going to see an Ag Scepter before he's even level 11. And for me, that's it's almost like you're getting it too early. It would help out if he got something else earlier because he'll be level 10 with an Ag Scepter. He may as well just be level 11 at that point. So once he gets up to level 11 with an Ag Scepter, then it'll be scary.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the most efficient area to grab that ulti upgrade is, so if you grab an Aghanim Scepter right when you hit a new level. So it's the same as having a lot of viability right at level 3 or right at level 5. It's the same thing for the ulti. So if he grabs his Aghanim Scepter right as he hits 11, it's equivalent to his level 16, and that is a huge advancement in strength. If you got it something like level 14 or level 15, it's not as effective or something like that, but I don't know. I think it's going to be really, really nice for him. I'm sure he's going to do plenty of team fight contribution in the upcoming fights.
Yeah, but DTS are picking up some of their sort of key items here. We're going to see Mech up soon on Windrunner. And the Invoker Force Staff is another good tool to deal with the Panda. Whoever he focuses, you can use that Force Staff to try help them escape. But top lane is where VP, Virtus.Pros want to push. They've got 3 heroes up there. Enigma's still at bottom. Enigma has farmed the Mech. So Enigma going to go for those utility items, a Mech, maybe even a Pipe as well to sort of boost up his team's survivability.
They are looking for a team fight here. Broodmother scouting things out. I assume they have Dust or Sentries or something. They have 1 Sentry Ward on Lashrak, and that's all they have at the moment. So Spiderlink's going to try to reduce the HP of Forge Spirit. It's definitely a good ways to do it. And there's the auto attack. So 44 gold going to the Broodmother, and this is everybody except for Enigma. Enigma's still in the bot jungle. He's got a mechanism up. He could perhaps TP, but he's actually not there with his allies. I'm not quite sure. But there's the Aghanim Scepter up on Kuroky. He's still level 10. He really needs to get just a tiny bit of EXP before he pops this.
Yeah, and Sanking has a Blink Dagger, so this could go very badly for Virtus.Pros if they're not careful. The trees have been cut down, so they'll have some extra vision. They won't be blocked, and there's fewer places for Sanking to hide, but I don't think Virtus.Pros want to force a fight here. I mean, Panda can maybe pop the ultimate, but as you said, only level 10. It's not going to do as much as it could if he was level 11.
Brewmaster does come through. He's getting very close. Might need this creep wave or a second one. He's going to need 1 more creep wave here before he can level up. He's going to have such a better ulti if he just waits a little bit longer here. And Enigma's still pushing out bottom. There's no towers to really threaten here either, so I don't know if Virtus.Pro is just trying to maybe reduce the action of DTS in the meantime, because they do have 5 heroes within this area, so they're probably getting slightly better farm at the meantime, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. I think they scattered out the Blink Dagger on Sanking, but maybe not great. Shacklefort, Hitchshot, Sanking, ulti, Blink is going in. He uses it from a bit too far away, and Brood taking a lot of damage. Will survive this maybe. Oh, the Edict. It looks like Brewmaster actually picks up a kill on Invoker, and the Brood's TP's away. Another Shackle Shot. Oh, DTS. Nice initiation there. Sanking was a bit far away, but Enigma's still pushing away at bottom. Oh, no.
Panda in some trouble. He's going to try to get Lollipop, though. Does sprint past. Great stun from Lollipop. Needs 1 more hit. The great chain stunning from SK, though, is going to prevent him from going down. And unfortunately, that was just a level 1 ulti out of Kuroky. So picked up level 2 in the meantime, but that's a tough loss there. That Shackle was absolutely perfect. On the bot lane, Enigma popping the black hole and enchant, and the Eidolon's doing the damage, but she is healing up a little bit. Is going to run away and barely ends up surviving. That heal is so imba, man. Maybe a Midnight Pulse would have made the difference, but
yeah. Some great Shackle Shots that fight, though. I think Sanking was a bit far away when he started casting the Epicenter. His Blink didn't get him close enough. Otherwise, they may have picked up the Brood as well. But now, VP, I mean, they're looking okay. They've managed to pressure these towers, so they've still got a lot of space to work with. But they do need to be careful, because this team fight coming out of DTS at the moment is very, very strong.
Yeah, it definitely is. And Priestman on the mid lane picks up the ultimate orb, so probably going for Manta style. Kind of interesting how some players like to go Yasha first, and some players like the ultimate orb. But this gives her more mana and more HP, not as much damage or utility, movement speed, stuff like that. But kind of an interesting shift. Which kind of build do you like doing better?
Sorry, on who was that?
On Mirana, do you like going for Yasha or ultimate orb first generally?
I think it's a bit. I think the Yash is slightly better, but at the same time, I think it doesn't really matter all that much. The ultimate orb gives you the mana pool if you want to use that ultimate in the early game, whereas the Yasha gives you that more mobility, the better lasting. I think either way, Mirana can't really shine until you finish that Manta style completely. So for me, it's a bit either way. I think the ultimate orb is a bit of a safer option for the tankiness as well as the mana pool to use your ultimate.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think that's a good point. Windrunner does have her mech up, so they're still hanging out top. They're trying so hard to protect this tower against Broodmother, and I think this is one of the first games I've seen a Broodmother do fairly successful in lane. It was not one-sided. I mean, I think Sand King did very, very strongly, but Broodmother did not get owned and still hasn't taken the tower yet, which is very atypical. I think he must have stacked this camp as well with his spiders. Nice play there as he jumps on those Ancients. That'll give him a nice little gold boost and push him towards that blacking bar.
Yeah, he's going to need that for sure this game. And Invoker has strangely picked up a Blink Dagger. I don't know if this... Have you seen this being done by DTS or any of these teams at all?
Yeah, every time Dendy plays Invoker, he goes 4 staff into Blink Dagger just like this. Doesn't upgrade his boots. Okay. He'll grab Arcane after this, actually, which is really weird that he doesn't grab it early. But he grabs a really late-game Arcane boots and goes for but Force Blink first before all of that. It's very unusual, but it works out, and it lets him position his Ice Wall so much better.
Yeah, with this Blink Dagger, it's going to be something Ice Wall can actually be used really effectively in these team fights, and that's against a Broodmother. That's really annoying. Even heroes like Mirana CM, if they get caught in that, it's very pesky. Panda, I mean, can cast the ultimate to get out, but that is going to hurt him. Panda, he needs that Blink Dagger, I feel, and he's going to go for it next, I imagine, but I think getting the Blink Dagger earlier on could have helped out Virtus.Pros to maybe force a fight earlier. And they're, once again, trying to push top. Sand King is going to be there with that Blink Dagger. Also level 14 on him.
And the Dire team is showing up. This is going to be a TP to the tier 2. Nice smoke by Leshrac, so at least the Dire team will not be spotted out by spiders and the like. There's the Sentry Ward being placed down. So the tier 1, here comes the Epicenter. They're jumping. He gets silenced. Great silence. He stops the Epicenter as he blinks. And there's the clap now on Funnick. Great plays coming from the Broodmother. And they do pick off the SK in the smoke. In the meantime, DTS just running away. The Pandas are there, so they're just going to try to stop them and waste Kuroky's ulti here. But huge plays by Broodmother.
Wow, just in time. I think that Sentry... He thought it was smoked in inverse, but I think the Sentry Ward actually spotted him, and now Enchantress in trouble as well. Cycloned in the air. In come the rest of Virtus.Pros. They're going to look to take out this Enchantress. Pops the heal, though. I think VP need to be sure they don't overextend here. Kuroky gets shackled, and the Chain Sun's going to come in now. Kuroky, a bit too deep as he will go down. And I think VP just going a bit too deep there after getting a very nice kill on the Sand King. Yeah,
for sure. Once the Panda ulti gets wasted, that would have been a perfect team fight for Virtus.Pro otherwise. But I think Kuroky was right to pop the ulti, but DTS did the smart thing and they just ran. They said, screw it, he's dead. Let him go. Let them waste the Panda ulti, and Kuroky tried to make something happen out of it, and he put himself in a really bad spot, diving past the tier 2 tower a little bit, and his team was a little hesitant to follow up on that. So.
Yeah, and now DTS, I mean, they've got the nice mid game. They haven't managed to take out too many towers yet. Maybe going to take out this very important tier 1 mid tower, which sort of acts as sort of a focal point for VP to sort of, when they respawn, TP in, back up their team. And now, it's actually going to be a Roshan attempt coming out from DTS, who feel with the Panda down. The ultimate is on cooldown, and they feel confident enough to take this, especially considering they can know that the Brood is top as well.
And they are hopping into the Roshan pit, going to do a little bit of damage here. In the meantime, Enigma on the mid lane as well as the Crystal Maiden going to push up, but there's going to be one ping. That was from Leshrac, actually, so I don't think they realize what's going on. Funnick will take this up. We're even going to see some impetus damage kind of coming out of Enchant, who's currently sitting at pretty good HP. She has her point booster up as well, so I like this item progression a little bit. Sometimes we see a lot of Enchants go heavy strength items, which gives her really good HP, but doesn't always have the best mana pool as a result, so I think it's a little bit more healthy.
Yep, and we will see Roshan drop. Virtus.Pro's a bit too late to realize and pick up on that one. Some nice de-warding in that bottom river, as well as now Sand King is getting very, very farmed. And who was that? Where's the Invoker with the Aegis? Yeah, Invoker with the Aegis. He's up to 1k gold. And he is gonna... Oh no, he's not gonna buy anything at the moment. I'm wondering what just he will go for.
He's got a medallion, actually. So going for the minus armor stacks with the Forged Spirits.
Oh. That's really nice. I mean, that's some good synergy there, and we'll see just how that works. I mean, Cold Snap as well. So I guess Cold Snap, Forward Spirits, and Ice Wall will be his 3 main spells.
Yeah, and it is going to make him better. Forge. This is more of like a pub build that you've seen before. Medallion plus Forge Spirits gives you so much minus armor. The arrow almost lands on Jackal, but he dodges that one. But here comes the push mid. Kuroky is ready to ulti this if needed. Going to do damage to the tier 2 tower. Jackal looking for the Jackal again. Not going to latch it this time. Power Shot is actually going to do just a slight amount of damage here to these guys. And Enigma actually has a Black King bar up. full second duration, so level 1 ulti, full Midnight Pulse, so possibly able to do a ton of AoE damage here, and the tower's just going to get denied. Invoker takes it out, and looks like Virtus.Pro is just going to shift. They are going to spot Invoker, though. Here's the AoE still. They might be trapped in a bad area. The arrow is going to land 2 seconds of disable on Jackal. There's the Force Staff and the Entangle as well. Looks like Enigma's coming in. There's the Black Hole. There's the Midnight Pulse coming for the Black Hole. Only going to catch Jackal with this one. A slight waste here, but they are going to be able to pick off the Windrunner. Kuroky looking for a split any second here. Looking for a clap first. Maybe doesn't want to waste it if possible. He's being so slowed here. He's going to have to split now. Gets the chain stun. Doesn't get his ulti off in time. Great plays by DTS, and they're coming in after the Mirana, but I don't know if they vision yet. Doesn't look like it. And she is just about to become visible again. She has about 2 seconds left over here, and DTS has got to be scratching their head a little bit, wishing they had dust.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they did manage a great chain stun on Kuroky there. He couldn't get off his ulti, and also taking out the Brood. Sanking came in at just the right time, and that Ice Wall placement, man, that was some perfect coordination and teamwork from DTS. They're playing really impressively here.
Ice Wall is so good. The slow that it provides there, as you saw, was just so powerful. Stopped Kuroky from moving anywhere at all, and then as his retreat came, just when his HP went a little slow, he got picked up. There's the arrow coming through. It's not going to land on Funnick, though. They're going to be able to run away from this one. And in the meantime, Virtus.Pro has been able to take a huge tower advantage. I mean, there have been some denies here and there, but they still have 4 towers up themselves. So if we look at the gold graph, it does reflect a decent gold advantage, which otherwise would not be there.
Yeah, at the same time, I think they're going to have they're going to struggle to push into the DTS base because all these team fights, DTS are putting up a great fight here. They're going to be heavily relying on this Panda to initiate for them, and until he gets that Blink Dagger, they won't have quite the initiation they want, but maybe once Blink Dagger Brewmaster comes into play, that's when they can break into the enemy base. At the same time, they also need the BKB up on Brood. He's getting very close. I think he'll have it in maybe, yeah, he's up only 100 gold off it now, so he's going to have that very soon. So, I mean, they've got the items they need. I mean, they're going to have, yeah, BKB on Enigma, that's been there for a while. Also 2k gold, so I believe Enigma about to buy a Blink Dagger. So overall, I mean, Virtus.Pro's are ready. They've got all their core items, at least their sort of mid-game core items, and going to be up to DTS to see if they can hold.
Yeah, even the Priest Moon does have Romanta style, so they're definitely all looking very, 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 very healthy on items. NS is going to sit on the mid lane. Mid tower is a little bit low on HP. Might let it take damage until it can deny. And look at it. That's exactly what he just did there. He waited till the creep wave could hit the tower so that they could deny the tower. That's awesome. Really cool play there.
At the same time, I mean, they kind of want to keep that tower up, even when it's in deny range, just so they can TP back in, because, like, when the Dire team were taking Roshan, if they're in another lane and want to stop them Roshing, having that T1 tower is a great tool, because you're right by Roshan when you TP in there, practically. So, denying that at this point in the game is not going to help them out all that much, although it does deny a bit of gold.
Broodmother really using his ulti a lot to farm a little bit faster, increasing his base damage. The cooldown is actually very low, so 45 seconds isn't a big deal, but interesting that he is spending his ulti so often. I don't think I've seen a Broodmother use it that often like that.
Yeah, it's something just to sort of be as efficient as possible. Unless there's a team fight coming up in the very near future, why the hell not? He's got the Soaring, so it's not a mana problem. And Brewmaster has the Blink Dagger now, so he's only level 13. Maybe going to try get some more levels, but it will be a while before he hits that level 16. Broodmother is in fact level 16, so Broodmother doing very well, but just didn't really shine in that top lane. As you said, not being down that tower all that quickly.
Yeah, totally. So, in the meantime, they're still pressuring the mid lane. Crystal Maiden shifting up double Bracer. Kuroky does get his Blink Dagger up, so he will be initiating a little bit more properly. Probably getting past the Ice Wall, that's the important part. If you can get past the Ice Wall, do the clap first. It slows everybody down, keeps them within range of your pandas so that you can start the chain disables. Drop the Cyclone on maybe Invoker or another annoying hero you don't want to deal with, and then drop stuns as well as a couple bonus damage hits from your other pandas.
Yeah, and we do see Gem picked up on Winner, using that to do some de-warding at top, and it looked like Virtus.Pro were trying to get some map control and push on in, but now without this vision, it's going to be a lot harder, and DTS want to force a fight here. They've got the Aegis, and they've got a lot of gold and key items on their hero. Sanking level 16 with a Veil of Discord. Virtus.Pro need to be careful.
They're going to take out a Centaur Con once again. Veil is up on Sanking at least. Cool stuff. So plenty of damage to be done. And Gem actually on Windrunner, the important part. So all of their heroes will be visible, especially the Priest Moon ulti. They won't get a get out of jail free card next time. But I think they're probably going to fight uphill racks. I don't think that would be too ridiculous. I don't know. It's going to be hard. If they have the Ice Wall done blocking the path, so many heroes are just not going to be able to cross that point. It's too dangerous. They almost have to get a gank off before they can end up taking it.
Yeah, and the problem is, as well, is both Windrunner and Invoker both have Force Staff, so if they initiate in with the Panda with the Blink Dagger, it's quite easy for them to just force away whoever's getting focused. And I think Virtus.Pro will struggle to focus down heroes in these fights because of the mech, as well as those 4 staffs up. The good news is they have got the BKBs on Brood and Enigma, so they're not going to get completely wiped out by the SK and the Invoker AoE, but they're going to struggle to kill any heroes. So it's going to be, I feel like this game's going to go for a bit longer, as both teams will just be looking to keep on farming, get up some more core items, and trying to look for those pick-offs to set up pushes.
Yeah. And it's not the end of the world if they delay this game anyways, because they do have the better late game carry. They have a Priest of the Moon, and they have a Broodmother, so they may wait until Broodmother perhaps grabs a Butterfly up next, or Priest of the Moon grabs a Daedalus, or a Monkey King Bar, or something like that. There's still plenty of AoE damage and disables from the Dire team, but I mean, if the Radiant team just gets BKBs, if they all get BKBs, Priest of the Moon grabs one, Crystal Maiden probably will never snag one, but if they grab BKBs, they're going to be sitting very, very good, because all the AoE magic damage coming from the Dire team is just not going to be applicable for a 10-second period.
Yeah, at the same time, Invoker is going for a pretty heavy physical damage build, the Forged Spirits as well as the Medallion. I mean, you can't use Medallion on those BKB heroes, but they can still hold even when they're all BKB. They can just position themselves so that they don't get taken out, and then the BKBs wear off, and that's when those heroes will just drop like flies.
And Crystal Maiden looking for an opportunity. She's just going to place an Observer Ward down as the Sand King backs off. Jackal on the mid lane just holding off the wave. He's only up to 1,200 gold, and the gold graph is still actually going up for the Radiant team, so they're still increasing their farm rates here in the meantime, so they're definitely doing very well to keep their advantage up.
Yeah, and both teams just, I mean, we see Virtus.Pro, Enigma, CM just farming together in the jungle, and Broodmother doing the same at top. Both teams just try not to waste any time. Even Panda is farming away at the Ancient, so Virtus.Pro is recognizing they can't push in, they can't even team fight, but they're just going to make sure they're being as efficient as possible with their time. And I mean, they're leading by about 10k gold here, but it feels like they're going to struggle to push on in, and a lot of that gold difference is made up in those tower difference.
Yeah, it really is. It's better than it used to be, for sure. A lot of their farm is coming from their last hits at the moment. Priest of the Moon's going to use their ulti. They're going to be coming in on Sand King. There's the epicenter. He's going to use his Veil. He accidentally misclicked. I think he tried to blink away, but used the wrong hotkey, and is in the... Oh, man, he might get the TP out, and they actually run out. He makes it. The arrow missed, unfortunately, and he gets out. Wow, mistakes from both players there.
Yeah, that was... Sand King getting completely caught out. Big mistake from him, but Mirana... Yeah, I don't think Mirana had the vision until the CM used that Frost Nova, and by then he'd already shot the arrow and missed, so... Yeah. Sand King, there's your get-out-of-jail-free card.
Yeah, he was definitely flustered, though. Totally saw that Veil in blink direction, so he was like, oh god, they're coming for me! Veil! And he was like, oh crap, I took damage and I'm screwed, so... Tough loss for him there. But he ended up TPing out, so he's fine, but... Alright, Enchanter is getting very close to her. I get him Scepter, actually. 400 gold away from that one. That'll be very nice. Increases her attack range, which means she does more impetus damage. And Leshrac pushing up as well. Also going for a Veil, but he's actually going to be a little underfarmed in this teamfight. So usually, I see a lot of very, very farmed Leshracs, despite them playing semi-carry roles. Maybe that's just because Moscow 5 played such good Leshracs, but they usually... This is a lot more underfarmed than I usually see Leshracs, basically.
Yeah, this is pure support Leshrac. I think he's doing most of the warding. Enchantress has been trying to get up that Aghanim Scepter, so... And surprisingly, it's a pure support Leshrac not getting Lightning Storm. Lightning Storm's kind of like your safest spell to use from distance, so you kind of expect Leshrac to max that, and maybe not right away, but at some point, because it is the only spell you can use from long distance safely in those team fights, and you can spam it quite well. But going to be going for the Pulse Nova and Edict, as Arrow going to go flying, hits the Invoker. Invoker does have that Aegis though, so should be okay, as there's the Panda, goes in with the ulti, and big black hole, hits 3, Brood is going to go to town here, great initiation from Virtus.Pro, Sand King goes in, not going to get the epicenter off, he gets silenced again, and they change target, take out Sand King, double kill for Brood, and Invoker, losing the Aegis, four-staffs himself up to the high ground, and Enchantress as well. Oh no, this thing's going from bad to worse for DTS here. As a great initiation from Panda and Enigma there.
Yeah, the arrows started everything off. Kuroky dropped the Thunderclap on like 4 heroes. That was a huge Thunderclap. The Panda split ended up working out okay. They pick off 3 heroes. I think they maybe could have gotten Invoker. Windrunner barely TP'd out there. There was no Cyclone or Stun from Kuroky in time, but this is definitely their time to push up the mid. We're going to see a buyback from Sand King, but he's got 58 seconds cooldown on his ulti, so that means he's really not going to be able to do a whole lot until then.
Yeah, and that one initiation coming from those Virtus.Pro hero could be able to secure the Mirax, but a nice Shackle Shot, the Meteor doing a lot of damage to Brood. That's going to force Brood off, and now maybe Virtus.Pro is going to be on the back foot as Kuroky gets Chain Stun, the Ice Wall as well, locking him down. Arrow going to hit Invoker, slow down his advances, and do they still have the gem? Yes, they do. Winner with a gem still, going to be able to keep vision of these heroes, And they are going to have to make sure... Oh, they're not going to... Oh, they don't quite chase anyone down in the end there as they only kill the Panda.
Baki needs to jump. He leaps away, gets away from the ulti, but looks like Brood's going to try to pick off Lollipop, and it looks like he will be successful. The final spawn Spiderlings, and one hit gets the kill, but now going to be surrounded by Windrunner as well as Enchant. Pops the BKB, max movement speed here, looking like he will run away. Invoker comes in, might do an Ice Wall. Nope, he's on. No, he does have it available, but might wait for a Force Staff here. They're going to continue chasing. There's the Ice Wall, nice usage. Silences M, but gets picked off, and the Veil is used. So, as they escaped there, how many heroes did they lose? They lost Kuroky, they lost Broodmother, I think they lost Enigma as well. But they did force like 3 buybacks. That was all buybacks from the Dire team.
Yeah, and Enigma's picked up a gem this moment. It looks like the Dire team will go for Roshan here, and that's kind of been the saving grace for them, having those Aegis, having the Roshan gold, because those last few fights they have been getting picked off, and using up a lot of their gold on those buybacks is going to really hurt them. As it looks like Virtus.Pro, I don't think they're in position to stop this Roshan. No Black Hole at the moment, no Panda ulti. Panda's, he's back, but he's just going to go bottom. He looks like he's going to be building an Assault Press here as well for his team. Yeah,
that's a really good Panda item. Once again, guys, the Earth Panda does apply all of the auras that you contain. He currently doesn't have any auras. No Basilius, no Drum of Endurance, which is typical Brewmaster items, but once he grabs that AC, he gives all of his pandas attack speed, which is huge because they hit very hard. Gives them a minus armor aura as well as a plus armor aura, which makes them very survivable. It's a great panda item if you can pick it up, usually after the Aghanim Scepter.
Yeah, no, and exactly. I mean, some pandas you'll see going something like a heart afterwards, after the Aghanim Scepter, which doesn't really make sense, because with the Ag Scepter, it's kind of like, okay, you want to spend as much time as possible in the ulti form, so you want to get those aura items, which will be the Assault Press, maybe even later on getting something as simple as a Vlad's, which will give his team the armor, the damage, and the lifesteal. So stacking aura items is always going to be great on that Brewmaster, as he is now up to 2k gold, so probably not far from the Assault Crest, although he may want to just save for buyback. He's now level 16 as well.
Yeah, it's going to make his ulti a little bit better here. Might initiate in on the Leshrac. I don't think it would be that ridiculous to just hop in, pop the ulti. It's got a lower cooldown now, 120. It doesn't seem that long when you're in Panda ulti for like 23 seconds or something like that. So, but Virtus.Pro is pressuring forward again. Looks like Broodmother's going for an MKB next. Great choice against a Windrunner. Will allow him to hit through the Windrun.
Yep, and Sand King gets spotted on the high ground. He needs to be a bit careful here. He's one hero who cannot afford to get picked off. He doesn't have buyback at the moment. And VP going to put up some wards, trying to get that map control up. They've got that gem to do some dewarding, and they'll probably deward this cliff in the top jungle here. As CM, will scout it out. They're going to deward that, get some vision of their own up. And this is going to come down to a game of map control, as both teams want to get the superior vision and use that to try and get the pickoffs, try be the ones to jump their opponents, because whoever initiates on their opponents first should have the upper hand in these team fights.
Yeah, it's going to help a lot. We do see a Ginsu, or a Side of the Vice, on the Invoker at the meantime, so he's got plenty of mana regen. I like this choice better than Arcane Boots, and it does also increase his damage by a decent amount. Not to mention the other benefits, strength, attack speed, all that good stuff. So I think it's a very good item choice.
It'll help out a lot against the Brood and the Panda, probably more focusing on using on the Brood. If Brood gets cheap, Brood is very, very squishy, only with 1700 HP at this point in the game. He's building an MKB, which she'll have very soon, so Brood is going to be relying heavily on his teammates to make sure that he does not get focused down. Needs a nice Black Hole as well as Panda to be in there, causing havoc with his ulti.
And they're going to take out some enchant creeps in the meantime. Going to see a leap forward. DTS is still trying to play it safe, exert some map control, but they definitely have less farming going on. If we look at actually the gold graph has peaked off a little bit, around 12k, which means it's getting slightly better for DTS, but in the meantime, Virtus.Pro is just really farming a lot more ground than DTS can.
Yeah, and I think I'd partly dipped down because of that Roshan as well. And yeah, definitely the map control is all in Virtus.Pro's favor. They are the ones keeping the wards up, dewarding more than their opponents, and DTS the ones on the back foot a bit. But at the same time, they're probably quite comfortable with their position at the moment. I mean, obviously not confident that they're going to win this, but they know they can defend. They know that Virtus.Pros are looking for a pick-off, and they just have to stick together and make sure they don't give them any openings to get any sort of racks push going.
And that's how they did it before. It was one team fight at their Tier 2 tower that they won, and then they were able to turn that into a push, but all the buybacks did save it. So if that happens again, it's going to be really bad for DTS. Otherwise, I don't know. It's still getting more and more dire as the time goes on, because once again, they don't have as much carry potential as a Brood and a Priest of the Moon. But there's not really many other choices. I think maybe doing some 5-man smoke ganks or something like that might be good for DTS. If they can initiate, like you said, they'll have the upper advantage in the team fight. What if they chainstone Kuroky or something like that? That could really give him a nice advantage. And he does actually spot on Invoker, but gets out of there, blinks away. good reaction time, and they're going to continue farming.
Yeah, I fully agree. They can't just sit around. I mean, sure, they can sit around and do this for the next 10, 15, maybe even 20 minutes, but the longer this goes, Mirana, you can see, building an MKB of her own, has the BKB up. These Virtus.Pro are going to get more and more farmed as, they look for an initiation. They're not going to get the shackle shot. And yeah, Virtus.Pro are happy not to end the game now. They know they've got the Mirana, they've got the Brood, and these heroes are going to scale very well into the late game, especially if they can pick up a couple more big items. I mean, sure, Brood has the MKB now, but if Brood can get up something like a heart, same goes for Mirana. If you can get a butterfly or another DPS item up, they're going to be looking very hongadori.
Yeah, just tanking up at this point when you're not worried about, when the enemy team doesn't have a scaling hard carry that's getting more and more strong with time. If you just get up some moderate damage items and then tank up after that point, it really covers all your bases. Kuroky's actually going to get caught in the jungle. He did blink forward, actually. He's going to have to pop the Panda Split. There's the silence as well. He might go aggressive with this. No, actually he's going to jump on M instead, doing some damage to the Invoker. Broodmother's going to pop his ulti and do a ton of damage, but he goes invisible just in time there. They didn't have any vision. That was such a tough loss there, losing the Invoker kill. And they might still engage this. They're going to jump on Enchantress. There's the blink forward. Malefice on her. Oh, great Black King Bar pop by Broodmother, stopping the shackle shot. Now a Disable going on the Sanking. He's taking huge amounts of damage. He does have a Burst Strike as soon as the silence ends, but I think he's going to make the Burst Strike to the high ground. He goes invisible. There's the Burst Strike up. Panda chasing, though, does the clap in a second here. Actually is on cooldown. There's M also doing some damage to Kuroky, and then one more crit hit on Funnick. Oh, he's going to get sheep just in the meantime. Malefice, but the Spawn Spiderlings get the kill, and Virtus.Pro is going to look and try to take the Invoker here.
Yeah, if they get Invoker, they could maybe push on in here. Sandking does have buyback. He's just got enough for it. Oh, nice blink from Invoker, but he gets found by Enigma. Enigma will have a stun in a second as Invoker silence will go down. And Invoker, oh, he's got the Aegis though, so he can maybe blink. No, he can't blink on respawn. Blinks on cooldown. He's going to die twice here. Oh no, that is not good for DTS. He does not have buyback. And Sandking, big epicenter blink. All 5 heroes caught in it, but it only takes out 1. The CM goes down. The other 4 surviving on red HP. Winner and a power shot going to go in as Mirana popping the BKB. It looks like Virtus.Pro will survive this, but Winner wants more.
Yeah, they're a little worried about dying. There's the blink forward stun going on the Broodmother. Broodmother goes down. Power shot doing damage to Kuroky as well as Lucifer. They're both going to have blink daggers in a second. Kuroky brings Shivas actually. It's not going to be an AC. Awesome. So really increasing his mana pool here. This applies an aura as well. Reduces the attack speed of your enemies by 25%. So, and does more AoE damage. So he's going to be able to blink, clap, pop the Shivas, apply a crap load of slow to the enemy team to really keep them in place in team fights.
Yeah, that is a nice. Yeah, another aura that does work. And we will have to see just how that is used as the Shivers, he can't actually activate it while in ulti form, but still, it's a nice aura regardless, and it will help with some of the Invoker, the Winner, and a DPS. I mean, sure, these aren't heavy right-click damage heroes, but any slow to their attack damage, when heroes like Brood, Mirana, in BKB form, they'll be taking even less damage.
He is going to get shackled by the Windrunner. We'll see if Jackal goes on this. He actually doesn't have Focus Fire. Level 18 without Focus Fire. Kind of interesting, but really trying to slow down Kuroky as much as possible. There's going to be the Hex after, and Lollipop coming for the stun. Kuroky dodges it despite being... Oh, in the second Hex, he doesn't get his ulti off and does get picked off. Dodges the stun despite being a pig, but still gets picked off. So, good try, though.
Yeah, and we will see a DTS. They're still bottom. They have smoke, and they maybe going to now look for a gank of sorts. As Leshrac Invoker, as Windrunner, no, Windrunner as well smoke. They are camping behind this mid lane. And with Panda dead, Panda no buyback because he's bought the Shiver's Guard. They may look to force the issue here. Although, I mean, even without the Brewmaster, they can still fight. They've got BKBs on Mirana and Brood. Mirana, a very preemptive BKB, just standing in front. Not too sure about that one. As Enigma, brilliant, big black hole, hits 3, and now Invoker trying to do some right-click DPS in return. Enchantress goes down, so does the Leshrac, and DTS on the back foot. Once again, Sandking Epicenter will go in, but the pipe, the mech being popped from Virtus.Pro is keeping their team alive for as long as possible. Although Brood does go down, and now DTS without Panda in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, and that's trying to juke, but he's going to eat the power shot. The Sunstrike did end up missing, and despite them fighting 4 versus 5 there, they'd still pick off 2 heroes. I think that could have been a little bit worse. So they're going to lose the tier 2 tower in the meantime. This did buy them time for Brewmaster to be back up. And he, of course, he's actually going to TP in. He wants to go right into the team fight here. Here comes the clap. He's going to get stunned by SK, though. Enigma following up, looking for the Malefice, actually. But the Shivas is not going to proc on anybody there, so no slows being applied. As he chases, he is going to be able to blink. There's a Hex once again. Alacrity as well, so this could be a little dangerous. If he gets shackled, this could be really bad for Kuroky. Might get picked off. We'll see. The arrow comes through, does disable the Windrunner. That ulti gets utilized, though. Jackal's going to be picked off, and a gem on the ground Follow-up disables in a second, looking for the stun, but the blink aways from DTS might keep them alive. We'll see if they chase after M. He's going to force after the low ground in the Roshan pit. And there's the Cyclone on Sanking. This looks bad for him. He is going to have blink in 5 seconds. There's the disable and a couple more pick-offs, and Sanking goes down.
Yeah, once again, Sanking gets caught out. He didn't have much mana there to use his Burrow Strike out, and he does not have buyback. His buyback is on cooldown. As you can see, NS saying something, baiting him, telling him to buy back again, as these buybacks from DTS are keeping them in the game so far.
Yeah, they really have been, but remember that every time that you buy back, that's gold that you farm that never goes towards items, so it essentially makes your disadvantage even higher. And it's not reflected on the gold graph, but that's something very important to remember. You could look at that as maybe a, I don't know, 3k disadvantage going towards their team, because they've spent that money on buying back. It's money they're never going to get back. It's all tactical uses, so it's always going to hurt them in the long run, the more and more they buy back.
Yeah, especially as you can see, a 15k gold lead for the Radiant team, and I mean, it'd be even bigger if you sort of take into account all those buybacks, which is pretty much just, I mean, it's not wasted gold, it's keeping them in the game, but it's gold that's not going into items, not going into their farm, and sort of, ooh, career goes down at mid. That was a bit of an interesting mistake there. But yeah, Virtus.Pro, I'd say they're still in fairly good control of this game. They just have to be careful that their heroes don't get picked off without buyback, much like Brewmaster did. As long as they have buyback, they can't really, even if they lose a fight, they can just come back into the game and not have to worry too much.
Yeah, definitely true. Mirana, it does have her MKB up. MKB, Manta Style, plus the Blacking Bar and a gem. Her items are looking really strong. Doesn't have a TP scroll, but apparently he's not too worried about that. And she is going to have buyback gold, so going to see a pause and a resume here coming out of Lucifer. And Enigma himself picking up a Mystic Staff. He actually has money for a Side of the Vice now. We'll see if he picks that up or just saves for the buyback in the meantime. But Enigma, very, very farmed. A lot of really farmed heroes, actually, on the Radiant team. If we're looking at GPMs, look at that. We have 2 over 400, both Brood and Mirana sitting well. Brewmaster at 350. Even the support Crystal Maiden at 174. Enigma's almost at 400 himself. So there's just really, really farmed heroes by Virtus.Pro. They've done a great job of keeping their farm up, despite not team fighting a lot.
Yeah, and DTS all hovering around the 200 to 300 mark there, behind a bit. And this Aegis is just so important. And we've seen DTS pick up the last 2 Aegises, and with those, I mean, that's something that Virtus.Pros need to maybe push in and get racks. And this one looks like it will go to Virtus.Pros, but DTS, they want to make something of this. Sanking is smoke, going to cast an Epicenter from the high ground maybe, as they've got vision. Are they going to get the steal here? Aegis in chief on the ground. Sanking gets the Aegis, and Brood will take him out right away, but he has managed to deny the Aegis. NS to CM will go down. Leshrac taking a lot of damage. The mech is popped from Windrunner. And, oh, great shackle onto the Mirana. Mirana in a bit of trouble here, as DTS have found a good find. Oh, Black Hole coming in, hits 3 heroes. Leshrac will go down. Sanking and Windrunner trying to escape. Sanking goes down, and DTS, the Invoker, caught in the middle. And Enchantress drops as well, as now Windrunner, Invoker, the only 2 survivors.
Wow.
This is not looking good for DTS.
That ulti from Kuroky lasts so long. There's the Shiva's Guard, going to slow him down a little bit. The arrow comes through. Malphus lands on Jackal, though. Going to try to pick him off, but the Meteor comes through. Blast as well, only catches Lucifer. It's going to be so close. There's the slow being applied, taking a couple of hits. He's down to 500 HP. The second sheep goes down on Mirana, not allowing him to do any damage. Up a great shackle shot. Kuroky taking tier 4 damage. And there is the Sunstrike doing the damage to Baki. Pops the wand, but it's not going to be enough. He gets picked off. Going to be forced to buy back, most likely. Another clap on M as Brood actually pops his BKB. I think they might just try to take this. The gem is on the ground, though. Are they going to snake it? That's actually the second gem. They don't even need this. He's going to deny it. Nice play by Enigma. And are they going to take off the tier 3 tower in the racks before DTS gets back up?
DTS, they may lose mid-racks, but at this point they can maybe still stay in the game without mid-racks. Oh, Invoker cannot afford to get picked off. He will go down to the Enigma. Oh, that is trouble now. Invoker cannot buy back, and the mid-racks will drop. In goes Windrunner. Another shackle on Kuroky. In Leshrac in the middle, doing as much damage as possible. Kuroky goes down. Brood looking for a revenge kill will get to Leshrac, and now Windrunner will drop as well. Enchantress, the only one standing. Sanking will respawn. And Windrunner, immediate buyback. They will get the racks, though.
Yeah, the trade was totally worth it. They're sacrificing Kuroky for the Windrunner as well as the Leshrac. Go for that any day, especially when it guarantees the melee racks. And how many buybacks did they just do? That was Windrunner purchasing back, so a huge gold disadvantage going to Jackal. Not like he really needs that many more items in this game. I mean, maybe something like a huge damage item like an MKB would be nice for her, but it's kind of surprised she actually didn't go for Focus Fire this game. I think it's definitely time to do it. If you're level 21, the stat advantages that you're getting is very, very meager, so having some damage output would be kind of nice.
I only just noticed that as well, and definitely, I totally agree there. Maxing out that Focus Fire use it on the Brood or anyone, because these heroes all have BKBs. They can't just rely on their magic damage. They need some right-click damage. So the focus fight should be almost a given. And especially also against items like the Shiver's Guard on Brewmaster, as the focus fire does go through that as well. So a bit of an unusual build there, I definitely have to agree.
Alright, so Virtus.Pro coming to the mid lane to defend. Mirana's going to pick up a Crystallis. Ended up not buying back there, just absolutely being careful. And Whisker Tons is actually going to jump in, looking for the fight. Pops the BKB at the perfect time, and Enchant gets picked off right after that. Windrunner now in a little bit of trouble, taking some ranged attack damage from the Mirana. There's a spawn Spiderlings in the last couple of hits. The arrows pick off the kill. Windrunner goes down. Virtus.Pro doesn't even need to team fight anymore. Broodmother is so farmed at this point, he can literally just engage 3 heroes, pop the BKB at the right moment, and pick off the squishies.
Yeah, and with that, Windrunner and Enchantress both down for a good 45 seconds. They're going to look to force the issue. Sand King ulti, last-ditch effort from DTS by the looks of things. Enigma is there, has the black hole if they need it, going to pop it, finds Lollipop there in left track, team white, and with that, Virtus.Pro, I think, have just sealed the deal. This could be it. The Panda ulti being used, and now no one is going to be left standing to defend. DTS call GG.
They are finally out of buyback gold for the first time this game. Virtus.Pro is going to be able to take the throne. We see the disconnects from DTS, and what a great game that was. Excellent coordination at that last team fight there. The Shiva Blink clap, so much AoE damage being done before he even split off, and Virtus.Pro really deserving this win here. Being able to hold off the pushes, doing some good early aggression as well, and Kuroky getting a really fast Aghanim Scepter, which things decreased in momentum a little bit in the early to mid game, but they still ended up carrying this through and holding off their towers, winning some great team fights, and they never lost their tier 2. Awesome play.
Yeah, I think the fact that DTS could never push, they were constantly cooped up in their base. They didn't have the map control. They had the nice defensive heroes that could maybe hold off, but they could only hold off for so long. And in the end, Virtus.Pro's the Kuroky, NS, and 3 mystery players have come out on top.
Excited to see how they do in the future. I'm really excited to see Kuroky finally play on a team. It's awesome to see that NS is joining him. I believe, I don't know if, who was the other one?
Dread, I think, is one of them.
Yeah, it was one of the other
Yeah,
players.
I think that's more or less confirmed. There's rumors about Aizen also being one of their players.
He's a German player, correct?
If I had... Aizen, I think
Swedish, maybe?
Israeli or something.
Oh, really?
No,
Something.
I remember. I think he's the one who... I don't know if he lives in Israel, I believe.
Huh.
I remember he used to have problems with his internet when he played for Team GoDz Gamers because he was living in Israel. And I don't know if it's actually him, but that's just what some of the rumors are saying. Also, some rumors maybe that Malk is their captain there, and somewhat based on the picks in play. I mean, I definitely think it's possible, and the heroes that their captain has been played, it could be Malk, but all rumors. We'll know in the next sort of 5 or 6 days.
Yeah, excited to see how that turns out. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Once again, my name is Purge. I'm here with GoDz. We are both Ghost Gamers casters. If you want to see more from me, go check me out on Facebook or Twitter at Purge Gamers, or check out my YouTube channel, youtube.com/PurgeGamers. And GoDz, where can we find you?
Facebook and Twitter, I am GGNetGods, and over on YouTube, it's GoDz Studios.
So what kind of stuff are you covering right now? I've seen you streaming a lot, but it's all for a different, like a Southeast Asian tourney, correct? Or league or something?
Yeah, the Dota 2 stuff I'm doing at the moment is for the Gigabyte Dota 2 Masters, which is like all the top Asia and Oceanic teams. You've got, the top teams from China, eHome, DK, LGD, and then the top Southeast Asia teams, Mineski, Orange, MUFC, as well as the Oceanic teams. So you've got absolute legends as well as SQL, Sequential Gaming, who have been doing really well. They're a New Zealand team. So that's been my main focus the last few weeks.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining me once again, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I'll probably play a couple pub games right now with you guys if you want, but other than that, I think I'm pretty much done casting for the day. So thanks again for joining me, GoDz, and we'll see you guys later. Bye.